Pitching yourself to clients and licensing partners is a vital part of building your surface pattern design business, especially as you're getting started. Working up the courage to reach out can feel daunting, but if you don't get your art in front of decision makers, you're not actively building a sustainable career. I often see this in new artists. They're relying on the hope of getting discovered on social media, Pinterest, or Spoonflower. It is not impossible to have clients find you in this way, but it's definitely taking a passive approach. Personally, I love to get my work in front of the right people, right in their inbox, so that they can hire me immediately. Today, I'm going to give you some of my top tips for contacting art directors. And to take the advice that I'm going to share with you, you're going to need a few things to have right now. If you don't have these things, don't worry, I've got you. But today, this advice is for people who have 10 to 12 pieces of strong art in your portfolio. This is subjective. What is strong art? I can talk about this a little bit more later in the video. But I'm a strong believer that it's better to pitch yourself before you're ready than to wait for the perfect moment with 50 collections on your hard drive, not doing anything. The second thing you're going to need to take this advice is art director contact info. There are lots of ways to find this. If you need detailed help on this, Start Your Surface Pattern Business may be for you. I dig into all the things you need to set yourself up for pitching your surface design and illustration work, how to find companies, art directors you're interested in working with, and then extensive templates to get your art out in front of them. So if you don't have this stuff, like I said, I've got lots of resources, various videos you can check out. But today, I'm assuming you've got this all covered. You have your art. You know who you want to reach out to. You are amazing. So what do you need to do to actually reach out? First things first, choose art that's marketable and relevant to the company you're pitching to. This is super subjective. Again, it's the reason I see most artists put off pitching. Let me put it to you like this. Look at the art you see on the products of the company you are interested in pitching to. If the art that's on the product is a 10 out of 10, let's just imagine it's a perfect match for that company because they already chose it, they put it on their products. Is your art like a 7 or is it like a 3? The art that you're seeing already out there from that company is a 10 out of 10. You got to think about format. You know, is your art an all over repeat and you're seeing mostly on the website, they just have single illustrations on their art? That would mean that you're not quite a match yet. You got to think about themes. Are you drawing animals and really cutesy stuff and everything they have seems really like abstract and painterly and not really icons that are recognizable, more like art that is abstract? That means it could potentially not be a match. What about style? Is your style really, really digitized and computer generated? And is the stuff that you're seeing there really hand painted and looks very handmade? That might not be a fit. Skill set wise, is it, are your talents and your skills up to par with the type of thing that you're seeing on their art? Those are all reasons you might not be a fit or you might be a fit. Again, you're going for 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. You don't have to be perfectly on theme because that will get you in a place where you're feeling like you can't pitch yet. So we just want to be in the zone, okay? I'm going to show you some examples of my own work and compare it to what is on the market, and we're going to talk about that next. All right, so I wanted to show you some of my greeting cards. These are greeting cards I designed a long time ago when I was first starting out. Most of these I designed probably in like 2008, 2009 while I was working at a home linens company, and I just really wanted to get into stationery. So the reason I'm showing you these cards as opposed to my current portfolio is because this is where I started. And first of all, you might want to see that. And second of all, your art might be in a more similar place because I wasn't paying as much attention to the market as I do now. So these are some examples of some cards. Obviously, you're only seeing the outside. I had written things on the inside as well. So this one is like a congratulations one, or yeah, you're the best. This one was about like, thanks for always packing my lunches. This was like a Mother's Day card. This was a Father's Day card. Thanks for all the support you're seeing here. This one, also a Father's Day card. I had some wording on the inside. This was a birthday card, as you can tell, a congratulations card. And this was sort of like a general spring card. So let's take a look at what is happening if I was trying to pitch my work to Hallmark right now. And I had the art director that I wanted to message, and this is my art, this is my portfolio. Let me take a look at what's happening at Hallmark and see if things line up as far as format, themes, style, skill set. So, going to the Hallmark website, and Hallmark website has, it has some of their regular cards. It also has some where you can like upload your own designs, which, I mean, I'm not really looking for something like that. Right now, I'm just on the congratulations because as you saw before, I had those congratulations cards. So we have this really fun photo of balloons. We have this kind of collage-y thing, wording, more balloons, tassels, wording, really nice wording. Yay. Some of these are 3D cards, more wording here. These are all photo cards, personalized, yay you, with a really fun bird. Wow, with balloons. Shine on. So one thing I'm seeing here, first of all, besides a lot of balloons for congratulations, is wording on the front. Whereas most of my art at this time did not have a lot of wording on the front, really small. This one is a little bit closer, and this one obviously does, but these all had sort of like information on the inside, but not really a lot of wording on the front. So I would say that's maybe saying that my formatting isn't exactly in line with what's happening in the market. Themes wise, again, right now I'm just looking at congratulations cards. And I'm seeing, here's some drinks, stars, you did it, a medal. So I know I'm kind of champagne. So as far as congratulations, these two were my sort of congratulations cards. And I'm definitely on par with themes there. Birthdays, I'm going to guess my themes are okay here. Let's see if we can find some Father's Day cards. We have Mother's Day. I'm not seeing any peanut butter and jelly, but you don't have to see the exact same thing. What we're really looking for is, the ideas. And again, I'm seeing a lot of wording on the front of my cards, on the front of these cards, and my cards don't really have any wording. I'm also, for my cards, you're seeing a lot of like polka dot patterning, just like some really general geometric patterning in the back. This was like something that I used to do all the time, is like lunch boxes in the background, polka dots, chevrons. These are corks in the background, a lot of that kind of thing, which this does have some polka dots in the background, but it's not style wise. I would say that it's not really lining up. It's not hand painted, but it's a little bit more organic and a little less stiff than my style was back in the day. This is pretty stiff, pretty Illustrator heavy. That was a little bit more of the style back then, but also, yeah, these like heavy outlines. I'm not sure if it's quite lining up. So honestly, I would probably say that for the skill set and the style, it maybe could be borderline, and maybe I might go through with it. But the fact that I don't have any wording on most of mine, and there is a lot of wording on pretty much all of these in the front, I think I would hold off and not think this art was the best fit for Hallmark at this time. So I would probably hold off and rethink some of these cards before I submitted to Hallmark. So that is the kind of analysis that I want you to do when you're thinking about whether you should contact an art director. Does your art line up with what they currently have? So it is still subjective, but if you can hit a 6 or a 7 for most of your art, I say dig in. And here are the reasons why. 1, you're your own worst critic, so you are probably underscoring yourself. 2, it's about building a relationship, and as you build your art, you will also be improving. So maybe it's not there yet, but in a year when you send a piece that really hits the mark, they will already know you. And 3, you have no idea what direction the company is going in internally. Maybe they have this art in their current line and it's not even selling well, and they've already decided to pivot a bit next season. So you just don't know what the conversations are. There's no point in trying to match your work exactly to what's happening in their current line. You want to bring what you do best to the table. So maybe what you have to offer is just what they're looking for. So send it along. All right, next tip. Keep it short and keep it confident. This is for the text part of your pitch, not your artwork, but the actual email that you're sending or any copy that you're writing on a potential postcard. However you're getting your art to these people, keep it short and confident. When I first started pitching to potential clients, I had come from 10 years of working in-house as a textile designer. So I knew that my skills were at a place that I could offer a useful contribution to any company that needed me. So I had that confidence. I already had the confidence. I have videos on confidence on my channel you can check out if you need some help. I give some advice if you don't have that experience on your side. Confidence wasn't my problem. However, I spent way too many characters, words, paragraphs trying to express and convince in my initial pitches. If you want to see an example of a kind of embarrassing, super long pitch that I actually sent out in 2013, check out the video that I'm linking above. It is a very long pitch. You might not have time for this. You probably have better things to do. But if you want to see an example of what's not working and some tips on what are working, definitely check that video out. Remember that you are showing up uninvited to an art director's inbox. The good news is you are bringing them something that they need to do their job, which is fresh, relevant art. And you're bringing it right to their inbox. So you're doing a really wonderful service for them. You should feel good about that. However, you do need to be cognizant of their time. And remember, they don't need to know everything about you to make a decision about whether they need your art today. A great pitch email can be 3 very scannable paragraphs with 2 to 3 sentences in each, maximum. Don't apologize for showing up into their inbox. Remember that your service you're providing is a very helpful one, but don't waste their time either. The third thing I want to leave you with as far as tips for contacting art directors is remember that rejection is part of the business. Tammy Bennett of the Show Up Society, when I interviewed her, she said it best. It's so true. Excellent art isn't always the right fit, so don't hang your worth as an artist on whether or not you get a positive response. It is the number one takeaway I got working in-house. This is why I'm always trying to tell you this on YouTube videos, because I know so many of you have not worked in-house. Trust me, I have seen the behind the scenes of choosing art on a day-to-day basis, choosing that art for bedding, for table linens programs, all the cute stuff you see in Gap Kids. I've seen those meetings. It is not about the art. It's about how the art fits with everything else that's being considered. Previous sales, shelf space, projected demographics, trends, color mix, style mix, theme mix, customer profiles, etc. All of this comes into consideration when choosing art for a product line. So there you have it. Those are 3 very important things to keep in mind when you are contacting art directors. I also want to remind you that the initial pitch isn't everything. follow-up is just as important. I want to give you an example of something that happened to me earlier in my career. I sent out a pitch and I got a response, and they wanted to get me on a call and learn about my skill set, and I was so psyched, and I talked to them and they said, okay, let me email you, get back to you. This was a party paper company. And I followed up and said, okay, so, how can we work together? And the project that they had originally had in mind for me had kind of fallen through, and they didn't need me at that time. No problem. I followed up for almost 2 years. I followed up like every 6 months. It could be more frequent than that, but that's what I did. I followed up for every 6 months for about almost 2 years. It was about 1 3/4 years. And finally, I reached out with some new art, and they said, love it, super cute. Are you available for a project this week? I was like, yes. And then I started working with them, and we worked together for 5 or 6 years. They were one of my biggest, most consistent clients. And that took me 2 years of follow-ups. That's pretty wild, but that's what happens sometimes. So I just want you to understand that follow-up is super important in this process. And I want to let you know that there are other resources out there. If you need more help, if you need a little more hand-holding, I can make this process even easier for you. I have a product called the Show Your Work Quick Pitch Kit, where I give you really detailed advice, super detailed, more tips. Some of these tips, because these tips are still important, but some really, really detailed tips about putting together a pitch. I give you templates for the exact email that you can write. I give you templates for your art. I give you a checklist to go through your art. I give you videos to talk you through all the things that I'm teaching you, as well as some examples of good and bad emails, and how to make those changes and make it the best pitch that you can send. So if you're interested in that, the pitch kit, I definitely recommend checking it out. Check out the description. I'll have some information about that and how to check that out. But if you don't feel ready to pitch right yet, that's fine too. I've got you. You can make marketable, relevant art with my course, Successful Licensing Collections. And if you already think you're pretty good on the art side, but you just don't have the confidence you need, Start Your Surface Pattern Business could be really great for you. Not only does it give you confidence, but it gives you a really clear roadmap of how to find those art directors and how to set up your business so that you are ready, you feel professional, you feel ready to go with your pitches. So I definitely recommend you check those out. But no matter what, get those pitches out, get started, start building those relationships, and start finding those paying clients.